Dr. Edward Schuster with your tip of the week. Today's tip is part 2, why we should try very hard to open our schools this fall. Now, this is a very controversial and difficult question to answer, but I'd like to make a few points. Social isolation is very bad for children. It causes physical, mental, and emotional problems, so we should try to avoid this if at all possible. Homeschooling works much better for advantaged people. If you're home and you have Wi-Fi and your 2 kids have new Apple computers, and mom is a retired Microsoft executive who's home, homeschooling can work. But for disadvantaged people who don't have Wi-Fi, who don't have good computers, it's a much more hard thing to do. My point is we've got to get kids back to school. There was a recent article about being a mom. Nowadays you can be a mom with a kid or a mom with a job, but you can't be both. That's impossible. We have to get the economy going. One of our goals is to take care of the economic disparity and the healthcare disparities in our society. It's my opinion the only way you can do this is through good education. So, is it safe to open the schools? The answer is nobody knows. As we've discussed, there's a lot about COVID we don't understand still. How many kids get it? Can they spread it? How sick will they get? We don't know. But what we do know is 150 children, sadly, die from the flu every year in the United States. They get the flu, they bring it home from school, they give it to mom, grandpa, and grandpa, and 50,000 adults die every year from the flu, and we still keep school going. Obviously, some states are much better to start school than other states, so this really has to be a community decision. But once again, for the good of the kids and for the good of the economy, if you can have school 4 or 5 days a week, it's much better than sending kids home. So how do you do this? I think you take the temperature of every student. It's easy to do that with the temperature gun. If anybody has a temperature, they can't come to school. Try masks. It may not work in kindergarten kids, but I think most kids will wear masks. And we need better testing. Right now, the testing is sticking a Q-tip up somebody's nose with a nurse who's in full protective gear. That's not going to work. It's my understanding that right around the corner we'll have saliva testing where a child can spit into a container and bring that to school. That's a lot easier. Then you can have what's called pool testing, where all 25 kids in the class can have a little bit of saliva tested, and if everybody's negative, that's good. So that's a lot easier and cheaper way to test everybody. So again, this is a very tough question, but I'd like to leave you with one thought. Why is it in this country that professional baseball, basketball, and football teams have the medical and economic resources to open up and our schools don't? Thank you. If you want to share this tip with your friends, please feel free.